Ayo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Final Fantasy 7 Ever Crisis video, and yeah, hope you're having a good day as always. Hope you all are doing amazing. So, when you are busy doing your characters or your builds in Ever Crisis and you're looking at R abilities, I'm pretty sure you must have noticed that there are a lot of similarities between R abilities. For example, this weapon has boost PATK 27 at max. This guy has 27 PATK at max as well. Killer Hornet has 40 PATK at max. And the same can be said for Magic Attack R ability, or pretty much any other R ability. There will be a lot of similarities. So this weapon has 40 M attack at max. Pick another one at random. 40 M attack at max. This one, similar to the physical attack, has 27 at max. Same thing here, 27 at max. And yeah, so I'm sure you pretty much get the point by now. And you can see that they are sort of set numbers for different R abilities. But there are some weapons that stand out above the rest. For example, Red's Canyon Collar has 54 points of boost magic attack. That makes it the highest boost magic attack in the game, and I have called these weapons dedicated R weapons. That is just my little name for weapons that have the highest points distribution in their specific primary R ability. So let's take a look at all of the weapons that have that. Boost physical attack, for example, can only be an R1 ability, and it comes in 3 variations: weapons with 27 points, weapons with 40 points, and the dedicated R weapons with 54 points. Examples of those are Tifa's Motor Drive, which comes with 24 wind, Lucia's Bald Eagle, which brings ice potency as well, Zack's Black Whiskers, and Sephiroth's Radiant Edge. Next up is Boost Magic Attack, and similarly to P-Attack, there are R1 abilities mostly, but the Bahamut Rapier has an R2 Magic Attack ability. And then the points are the same, 27, 40, 54, 54 being what I like to call the dedicated R weapon. Dedicated R weapons for M attack are Aerith's Snowflake, Lucia's recently added Thunderbird, and Red's Canyon Collar, as I showed in the intro. Boost attack boasts R1 and R2 abilities, same amount of points, and we have Aerith's Floral Wand, Lem's Ultimatic, and last but not least, Red's Rage Collar. Moving on to HP, there are 2 dedicated R weapons for HP. HP in general has R1 and R2. The summon weapons specifically have HP on R2. Same points, and the dedicated weapons are Cloud's Butterfly Edge and Tifa's Crystal Gloves. Moving on to Heal. Heal has one lonely little weapon in the dedicated R weapon section. Heal only has R1, and it is Aerith's Guard Stick. Magic Ability Potency also has a single weapon at R2 with 48 points, and it's Matt's SP Rapier. Moving on to Physical Ability Potency, with the addition of the latest weapon, there are now 3 of them at R2, 48 points, and it's Barrett's Enemy Launcher, which also gives attack, Lucia's Mad Minute, which also gives HP, and as I mentioned, Tifa's Guard Gloves, which also gives physical attack. Moving on to Boost Ability Potency. Same scenario, R2 ability only, 24, 36, 48, and Zack owns both of them, with his Cutlass being one, and his Enhanced Sword being the other. Limit Break Potency also has 2 dedicated R weapons, R2s with 48 points, and that is Sephiroth's Glare and Red's Rubber Collar. Boost Crit sadly does not have a dedicated R weapon, so there are no 48 points Boost Crit, but you can still get 36 point R2 crit weapons. So for now, no dedicated weapon for crit, so I'm just going to list the secondary weapons, the 36 points, and it's Type 99 Longsword, Platinum Collar, Black Rifle, Tiger Fangs, Hardcore Squad, and Iron Blade. Hopefully they will give crit some love in the future, and we'll get a 48 point crit weapon. Moving on to Physical Defense, another bit of a strange one. Physical Defense is R1 and R2 abilities, and it has 24, 27, and for some reason the dedicated weapon is 40 points. So the highest points we have for Physical Defense is 40 points on a single weapon, and that's Barrett's Max Ray. Magic Defense is similar, except for some reason the points are a lot higher. So the same, except the max is 54 points instead of the 40 points of the Physical Defense. And then we randomly have Matt's Bramblespine, which decides to be in a league of its own, with 36 points of Boost Magic Defense. The rest are 24, 27, and the highest Heavy Vulcan at 54 points. Moving on to the Elemental Potencies. There are two types, weapons that give you 36 points, and a few weapons that give you 48 points, like Zack's Defender or Ice. Or for fire, we have, it's an R2 ability, and it is Zack's Crystal Sword Z. That gives you 48 points of fire. For Earth Potency, Yuffie has the honor of owning this weapon, and it is her Razor Ring, giving you 48 points and some boost magic attack. Water Potency is Tifa's weapon, the Grand Gloves, that give you 48 points, once again, dedicated R for water. The dedicated R for Lightning Potency is the SSR 1976 from Lucia. For Wind Potency, we don't actually have a dedicated R weapon, so there are no 48 point Wind Potency weapons right now, only 36. Moving on to Resistances, we have Ice Resistance. Resistances are R1 and R2 weapons, and they have 36 points and 40 points respectively. The R1s have 40 points, and they are summon weapons. So Ifrit's weapons, Len's Inferno Grave, and Zack's Ifrit Sword will give you 40 points of Ice Resistance. Fire Resistance, pretty much Shiva's weapons, of course. 40 points on the Shiva's Blade and Shiva Cannon on R1 abilities. Earth Resistance, since we don't have any Earth summon weapons, there are only R2 Earth Resistance abilities right now, which is only 36 points, rather than 40 points on the R1 summon weapons. So I'm not exactly sure if Earth and Wind are against each other, or in contrast, and if that is the case, then when we get our Wind summon, we will probably get the R1 Wind summon weapons that give 40 points of Earth resistance. And Final Fantasy VII canonically does not have a Wind summon, right? So who do you think our Wind summon will actually be in Ever Crisis? Will it be Garuda, or will it be someone else? I'm quite curious myself, and yeah, let me know in the comments. So there are only 36 points for Earth. Moving on to Water Resistance, we have Rama's Staff, giving you 40 points with Aerith, and a Rifle of Levin, giving you 40 points with Lucia. Lightning Resistance, much like Earth, there are no summons for it yet, so we will get the R1 with 40 points when we get Leviathan, I assume. For now, all we have are R2 weapons with 36 points of lightning resistance. Wind resistance, once again the same thing. We only have R2 weapons with 36 points, But once we get, I assume, Titan, or whichever element is opposed to wind, we will get the R1 40 points wind resist weapons. So I've also created a little summary. Dedicated R weapons for boost physical attack give you 54 points in boost physical attack, and they are these weapons that you can see on your screen right now. Similarly, boost magic attack also gives 54 points with the dedicated R weapons, and there are only 3 of them this time, most of them relatively newer weapons. Boost attack also has a couple of new weapons in Floral Wand and Ultimatic, and also gives 54 points with the dedicated R weapons. Boost HP, as I mentioned, only has 2 of them, and that gives 54 points as well, being Cloud's Butterfly Edge, and the other owner is Tifa with her Crystal Gloves. Heal is the Solitary Guard Stick from Aerith that gives you boost heal 54 points. Now we go down to the 48 point mark, with the first weapon being the Magic Ability Potency weapon, the SP Rapier from MAT. Physical Ability Potency has those trio of weapons, 48 points once again, with Enemy Launcher, Guard Gloves, and Mad Minute. Ability Potency is also 48 points for the dedicated R weapons, and both of them are owned by Zac. Limit Break Potency, 48 as well. Sephiroth's Cleareed, Red's Rubber Collar. Crit, we do not have a weapon with 48 points of boost crit, so we'll just have to wait and see when they give that. Physical Defense, for some reason, has 40 points as the highest weapon right now, max rare. Whereas Magic Defense has 54, for who knows what reason. It's the Heavy Vulcan. Elemental Potency, there are a couple of weapons for each, or one weapon for each element, should I say, that give 48 points, and it's Zac's Defender for Ice, Zac's Crystal Sword for Fire, Yuffie's Razor Ring for Earth, Tifa's Grand Gloves for Water, and Lucia's SSR for Lightning. Elemental resistances are obviously broken down into the summons, so Ifrit's weapons will give Ice Resistance 40 points, Shiva will give Fire Resistance, and Rama will give Water Resistance. For the elements that have not yet been added, there are only R2 abilities with 36 points, and that'll be for Earth, Lightning, and Wind, so no dedicated for those. Now, you may have noticed, but dedicated R weapons have to sacrifice to get their power. So, using an example of Zac's Crystal Sword and Red's Rage Collar, we can see that Zac's Crystal Sword is a dedicated R weapon for boost fire. It gives 48 points, the highest in the game, but it sacrifices on boost attack to get that power. So it has the lowest boost attack points in the game, which is the 27 mark. Similarly, with Red's Rage Collar, it is a dedicated R weapon for boost attack, and it sacrifices boost fire to get there. So 24 points, the lowest you can get for fire, in exchange for 54 points of boost attack. So you'll notice that this is true for pretty much all of the R weapons, the dedicated R weapons as I like to call them. They sacrifice their other R ability to gain a lot more power in a single R ability, with the exception of Sephiroth's Cleareed and Tifa's Grand Gloves for some reason. Cleareed is a dedicated R weapon for Limit Break Potency, and Grand Gloves is a dedicated R weapon for Water Potency. But for some reason, both of them keep the max of their alternate R ability. So Physical Attack 40 for Cleareed, and Heal 40 for the Grand Gloves. Are they OP? I'll let you decide. Other than that, R abilities or dedicated R weapons can be useful in many ways. You can use them as a primary weapon to get a lot of points in a certain stat, or you can use them as a sub-equipment if you need just a few extra points to reach that next level. Thank you so much for watching. See ya.